Welcome to the Healer's Circle, where extraordinary healers share their personal journeys, wisdom, and how to heal yourself. My hope is that their insights, practical tips, and aha moments inspire and guide you in discovering your own gifts to reach your highest potential. Welcome, Pia. I'm so glad to have you join us today.
Ingrid, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Of course. So you're a soul alignment mentor, helping women reclaim the fullness of who they are by reconnecting to their inner truth. And when I met you, I saw you do like a reading on the hand. And the only experience I ever have with it is when we were like yay big. And they're like, oh, there's like a lifeline and there's like how many kids you have. But I really don't know anything about it. So could you tell us more? What is that? What is it that you do, and what can people read off of hands?
Yes, I'd love to. Oh, there's so much here. It's so rich. So I'm certified through the International Institute of Hand Analysis. And what I've learned is an enormous database of information, all pattern recognition. Everything on the hand means something. Not only the lines, but the shape of the hand, the fingers, the color of the hand, the fingerprints. It's all important. It all means something. And so in my studies, I learned how to read your hand. So like a normal person would read a paragraph, sentences and words and phrases. And that's how I read the hand. When I look at the hand, I can read it like a story, like your story.
Wow. Yeah. I think back in the days, like, oh, you have to like be intuitive about it. Or like when it was really, I mean, now I think you have to be intuitive. But back in the days, I thought it was like specific line equals specific thing. So what is it? Is it a combination, or is it exactly like this line equals that?
Yeah, what's interesting, it is a science and an art. It's both. So the science of it is that, yes, everything means a very particular thing. But then by bringing it all together and creating the story, there is some intuitive faculties that come in and really make you understand the person even deeper. But it's very important to really read it like literally, like you're reading a story in a book, because it's so important. I can tell you the science a little bit.
Yes.
Why this is happening?
Yeah.
So your hand has a huge concentration of neurotransmitters, the same material as your brain. So your brain is processing your conscious, your subconscious, your unconscious. All the neurons are just churning away, and they set off these little things called the synapses, set off sparks, little sparks. And each spark is actually like a chip in a computer full of information about you. So those little sparks, because they're electricity, literally electricity, they go flying through your body to make contact, as electricity always does. They find the neurotransmitters on the hand, make contact with them, at the same time touching the skin and the muscle and tweaking, building this blueprint. It's a mapping of you.
Crazy. So it's kind of developing as we're like really small, and it's kind of going from there, versus like, are you born and it's exactly it? Or is it like as I'm developing, that kind of develops as well?
Well, if you look at a child's hand, they have like the major lines, which are the heart line, the head line, and the lifeline. They usually have just those three that can be seen clearly, and they will move over time. And over time, more markers begin to appear, that are representative of how their personality is developing.
Yeah.
And that can change over time as well. For instance, I changed my heart line, when I first had my hand read, the first time ever. I was told that I had this particular way that my heart line curved, that it was showing that I was fire, because we use a lot of different archetypes in the hands. But it was kind of doing this kind of movement towards water. And what that means is that I was dousing my own fire by being more of a watery personality that's a lot more caretaking, more about other people. And a fiery person has to be here with themselves, has to actually it's almost like a posture thing, feel themselves here before then going out and being with other people and helping other people. And water just rolls this way and that way.
Wow.
And so that little difference, I started noticing how, yes, I did that. You know, a water person, if you ask them, oh, where do you want to go to dinner? They can say, oh, I don't know. Where do you want to go? And they're within their type. They're being their type. Mm-hmm. But if a fire person is asked and they say, oh, I don't know. Where do you go? Where do you want to go? It's actually like deferring in a way that's not empowering to a fire person. So I had to watch out for how I was, and I kept on kind of curbing myself and bringing myself back into fire. And it took a couple of years, but my line changed. It actually changed.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
So that kind of means that we are in charge of what our future kind of brings. Like we can change even in a physical way. If you're saying that we can change the lines, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's how I use hand analysis mostly, about how find out what the gifts are, what the strengths are of a person, but most importantly, what are the challenges? Because the challenges are like the stepping stones to a brighter path. They're also, I talk about them like weights in a gym, that you engage them in a particular way and you get stronger. So challenges are really, really important.
So I think now I'm starting to get, understand a little bit more how you can, help people connect with the inner truth. Because if I'm seeing the path, I'm like, oh, maybe not necessarily liking this. You're saying we can do something about it. And then we are better off in our, whatever our future kind of brings or in our life. Like, do you have any examples of what people have shared that when they've learned more about who they are and working with you, that when they do these shifts, like what it brings to them, what do they get from these amazing sessions of discovering this?
Yeah. So for instance, I had a woman who worked in a corporate office, and she was kind of being pushed to up level her position, to move into more responsibility, to move into more visibility. But it was very difficult for her. She couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And her hand talked about how that's actually a strength that she has. Mm. But it was because of how, things in childhood happen, we can kind of get derailed here and there. Mm-hmm. So I worked with her over time. I think it was about 3 months, that with this inner journey work that I do as well. It's a form of hypnotherapy of how to engage with old patterns and old traumas, how to align yourself with your truth and make peace with those places that are actually attracting from a place that's very old, like an old way of protecting ourselves.
Yeah. Because
when we're children, we can only do so much to protect ourselves, and it was appropriate then. But if we don't do something, it becomes really part of our nervous system, and we continue with that same type of response that we receive from the world because of how we attract.
Yeah. So you get information from the person's hand, and that helps you help them kind of heal and get to a better path.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, because then she was finding that she was being able to walk into a meeting and feel comfortable and sit and speak in front of the other people that in the past she had such a tightness about. It was very important, and it relieved her from the stress, and it helped her enjoy her job and advance in her career.
Yeah, that's amazing. This is a wonderful example. How did you get onto your path? How did you even discover this? Because I know our listeners are also like, kind of doing the spirituality or something in that world that's not like corporate, and I don't know what it is. I'm wondering if you share a little bit of your path, they get some ideas of they could go on theirs.
Well, gosh, spirituality, like energy, all of this magic, everything was so exciting to me and interesting since I was a child. Mm-hmm. So in my teenage years, I already started meditating. Mm-hmm. In my 20s, I was playing with going to healing classes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I became a Reiki master. I did all different types of healing, theta healing, different healings, energy healings. And that alongside of a corporate world. So I did both. I'm a Gemini, so I can juggle both easily. And I did, lots of spirituality. I played with Hinduism, with Buddhism. I did a lot of study, a lot of meditation, different types of practices. Mm-hmm. And just over time, continuing to explore and see what caught my eye. Mm-hmm. I then found this work called Core Awakening Journey, which completely shifted my life in a way that, wow, it freed me from being kind of trapped within myself.
Yeah.
It was a really, an experience that I treasure because I suddenly felt free. Mm-hmm. And then I had my hand read for the first time.
Okay.
And it was another level of, I understand why my life has been the way it has. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For instance, the fingerprints have been decoded to understand your life purpose and your life lesson. And as we know, your fingerprints never change throughout your life. They've been printed on your little baby fingers 4 months into conception. So before you're born, you had the fingerprints that stay with you for your whole life.
Wow.
And so understanding, especially life lessons, what's been challenging, and then how to engage with it, it actually relieves me of feeling like, oh my gosh, I was broken. I didn't do it right. I didn't know how to be this way. I know that back thrashing yourself, it relieved me of all that. To understand that I came here to experience more of this, to play with it, to understand it more.
Yeah, I love that you're sharing this tip because there's, I think, so many people will go through their life experiences and there's so many aha moments. This is like one of these. Any other great aha moments that on your journey you're like, oh my goodness. So then we give you like a little shortcut to our listeners, like they can get our aha moments and hopefully get benefit from that. Anything else to mind?
So many, but the main one, I think the main one was understanding that what's going on in the world here is just a mirror. It's a mirror. It's a tool for, and I'll speak from my point of view, for me to understand myself.
Yes.
It points my perspective that goes out that way to blame this, to look at that caused that. Oh, it made me do this or feel this other way.
Yeah.
To take responsibility. Mm-hmm. And to just kind of turn the vision inward to see what's going on inside. Mm-hmm. Because the mirror image doesn't, if you're actually physically looking at a mirror, that won't change unless you change here.
Exactly.
If you want to see a smiling person out there, you got to smile.
Exactly.
And the whole mirror thing, it's not really like a one-to-one, experience all the time.
Of course.
But to have that, to take on the responsibility of being here with me now, and then I can be in real choice.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love being able to share with my clients, to put them in the driver's seat to have their choice.
Yes, that's amazing. There's another saying about the mirror I love, but often different people can like capture some sort of explanation versus the other. Another one I heard is like, if you're pointing a finger at someone else, then pay attention to how many fingers are pointing at you.
Yes.
So easy to blame the world, blame everything else, but there's the magic of once we go inwards of how the whole world does change.
Right.
We change here. And that's something that you do with your clients as well, which is amazing. And what are some of the challenges, though, that maybe with the clients that you see come up, that again is good for the listeners, like, oh yeah, that happens to me too. Or it's like, what do you see a lot that people are facing that is like, well, here's a good tip for you with that kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like back to the mirror issue, is that a lot of people are experiencing the same type of problem again and again. And no matter what they do differently, no matter how they try to resolve it,
yes,
it doesn't fix.
Yeah.
And so it's not the way to fix things. It's not the way to try to, how do I deal with that person over there so they don't treat me this way, is not the way to go about it. There's a whole different way to engage with yourself inside. Yeah. And that's the key to, oh my gosh, to such a joyful and relieved life. I would suggest for people that want to explore a bit on their own.
Yeah.
Notice what you're feeling. Just notice what you're feeling. Because honestly, in this day and age, there's so much going on. There's so much that captures our attention. We need to check our email. We need to, do this, do that, running all over the place. And we don't really take a time to feel what we're feeling. But just to take a moment during the day and take a breath and just kind of land in your body. If you know that feeling of kind of sitting a little deeper in your body, feeling your gut a bit, feeling like, feeling the chair that you're sitting in a little more.
To be more in the present and with yourself. And
present, yes.
Do you have any suggestions that people who are feeling blue, or just there's so much stress and who knows what else, just a low moment in life, anything that you would suggest that maybe you do yourself that helps you, could help others?
Yeah. Well, emotions are information. And emotions need to be felt.
Yes.
And so when emotions come up, it's important to just pay attention, to let yourself feel it, to acknowledge them.
Yes.
Breathe with it a little bit. And if tears come, if anger comes, it's okay. It's all okay. If you need to do that on your own by yourself outside of being in public, fine, but make the time to do it. Go back to it and kind of relive that little moment that caused it, and let yourself experience the emotion so that it can just pass through.
Yeah, it is so important what you say now, because most people get the emotion, the feeling, and then they want to escape from it. They want to bury it. They want to hide and run from it, thinking that, that will help them escape. But in reality, like you're saying, is no, actually let it move through you so it doesn't get stuck with you. Because if you keep pushing it away, it is going to keep coming back. Like you said, the information. Could you share a little bit more? What do you mean by that? What does it mean that the feelings are actually information?
Information. So when you're in any situation, something happens out there and you have a response to it or a reaction. It's depending on how you're expressing it. But whatever comes up as a result of what happened out there, that's information for you to know about you.
Exactly.
How is it that is affecting me? So if, for instance, if you're walking down the street at night and you see a shadow, someone moving in the shadows, and you get fear come up, oh, well, that's information. I don't feel safe with whatever's coming up down the block. Maybe I should turn around and go the other way, for instance.
Yes.
Or if somebody gets angry in your sphere and you, let's say, get sad, right? That you start kind of retracting and pulling back.
Yeah.
Because that fear, that anger is making you upset. So there's some old patterns, old experiences where anger caused you to be afraid yourself and retract.
But do you really need to, like, it's a wonderful opportunity to then, like, ooh, I'm recognizing this feeling because it's coming up, and that's, maybe because I'm angry, or like it's bringing back some childhood memories or something from the past. How important do you think it is to actually know where it's coming from versus just feeling that feeling so it would go through
Yeah.
it, like you said?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. So it's important, first of all, to acknowledge it and feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something that's like you felt repeatedly in whatever that situation is, well, maybe there's something more to pay attention to, because why the recurring same feeling in response to this type of action that's happening out there? It is important to know what is right for us and what is not.
Mm-hmm.
And also, where is it within ourselves that these old reactions, because it could be just an old response that's coming up. Oh, that's an old response. Well, maybe there's just some deeper healing to do.
Yeah.
To
like another layer, because sometimes they're in layers, right? You're like, I thought I already dealt with this. Well, yes, but there's still layers to still welcome. It's not like, okay, you didn't feel it at all. It's like, no, but go into the next layer, feel more, right?
Yeah, and I believe as beings, so we're energetic beings. We're not just this body. There's so much more to us. And it's like our movement, or how we are, we're like sporadic beings, and we just go on into infinity. If you really want to get into a more of a spiritual approach to it, we go back into source. But that whole journey of just being and being and being, that it can't fit in our minds, in our experience. I don't believe we can know that we finished something, dealing with something, healing something, because it does tend to come back again and again at different layers. And it's not wrong and it's not bad. We didn't not do it right. It's just another moment of it coming back, and it's life. We're here, we're doing life. And we are spiritual beings. We don't have to pretend that we have to find our way back to being spiritual beings. I believe it's about enjoying the physicality and the humanness, being spiritual beings.
For the ones who are like, okay, this whole spiritual talk still is like way over my head. What do you tell these people who are like in a very baby steps? It's like, okay, I'm kind of curious, I'm kind of interested, but how do I find my thing, whatever that is? Any tips that you had to that, or what you did that would be helpful?
Yeah, I think for it's a lot for someone to entering the spiritual realms, like what's attracting them. They should pay attention to what is attracting them. Is it some like a Buddhist thing? Is it meditation? Is it energy? What is it? And just notice that. Learn more, talk to people, read a book, take a class.
Yes.
And also really important is just to sit with yourself, in that stillness. And stillness doesn't necessarily mean meditation, sitting quietly, making your mind go blank, because you really can't. The mind has to think because it thinks. It's what it does. So going out for a walk, and you can pay attention to all the beautiful things around you, but you're also paying attention to your breath. You're paying attention to your walking pace. Just bringing your awareness, being mindful. Being mindful is a way to bring that stillness into your body and into your experience.
I think that kind of goes along with the what I was also wondering, if you have any tips for the people how to do self-care like regularly. And I think these are all wonderful tips. Is there anything else that you tend to do to take care of yourself?
Let's see. Oh, well, it's important just to be human and do what you love doing. Have fun.
Yes, totally.
Fun is the best thing.
Really is. And now, if you would look back to the younger you, whatever, however many years ago, do
Mm.
you have any suggestions to your younger you? With like, well, now I'm at this place. I've gone through my journey in whatever way, but there is something I'd like to tell her when she was younger. Is there anything you have?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know if she'd believe me at that time.
Stop, right?
Yeah. But it's like, you're perfect
Yeah.
just the way you are. You are absolutely perfect. And whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through that you think is bad and wrong, it's okay. It's okay. You're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect.
That is a really hard lesson, but that is a great lesson for all our listeners to know, like, you are perfect. If you are going to be hard on yourself, would you suggest if they're like, oh, no, or they're so hard, how would they like get over the accepting that information that maybe I am perfect with all my faults and with all my, craziness that my, annoying voice tells me in my head, to actually believe it. Like you said, you did not believe it when you were younger. And now you can say, well, I've gone through the journey. I know better. But if the ones have not yet gone through the journey, how do we not convince them? We can't convince them, but
Yes.
that is true, though.
Well, actually, one of the things I do with my clients and in talks, when I give talks, I always fit this in. It's an inner child journey.
Yes.
To meet an inner version of you at a younger age.
Yes.
And it's so powerful. Oh my gosh, Ingrid. It was so beautiful that, in just a 10-minute little journey to meet whatever shows up in your mind, in your sphere, in your vision, and to interact or just be there.
Yeah.
Because, we tend to be kinder to others than to ourselves in general, right? So there you have a little younger version of you. So the kindness that's able to be given is wonderful. The love.
Yeah.
And I've had such beautiful responses from these inner journeys from the audience when I give talks that, oh my gosh, everybody should be doing these regularly.
Absolutely. But talking about these amazing inner work in so many different ways that we hear you do you only work with people in person or also remotely?
Oh, no, I do. I work with people over Zoom in person. My office is in Sausalito, California. Yeah. And we work over Zoom. Even the hand analysis I'll do over Zoom when someone purchases a session.
People put the hand in your face. Did you send you a picture? What do they do? Someone with you.
I email them once they sign up for a reading. A print kit, which I was going to have handy to show you, and I forgot. But it's a print kit with ink and with pages, and you make your own prints, you scan them and email them back to me. And then we get on the Zoom. I like to have the person on Zoom because then I also always tend to ask them, well, shake your hands and put your hands up and let me see what's going on now, just in terms of movement and that kind of thing. So yeah, we can do that. We can do the inner child journeys. We can do, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I do some very deep inner work there.
And that could also be done remotely?
Yes. And it's very successful. Yeah. I've had very much amazing experiences with clients over Zoom.
Oh, this is wonderful. I want to have a session with you.
Yes, you're most welcome.
I was rushing from A to B and I wasn't able to, but it seems fascinating. It seems amazing what you do. And I hope the listeners were able to see another way of being able to heal yourself and have a better life. And you seem like go ahead. You seem to want to add something. Please do.
Well, I just wanted to share that I do these methodologies, the hand analysis, the inner journeys, because I did them for me first. I was having a challenging life. I wanted things to be different and they wouldn't change. And what I went through with these modalities is like, I have to bring this to people. I have to help them find their freedom, their joy. Oh, I used to feel like I was enclosed in a glass tube or something, that I wanted to be out there and do things and feel free to express. And I couldn't. It just wouldn't happen. And now I feel like the luckiest person in the world because I'm free to be me.
That's amazing. And I hope every listener could have that feeling of
Yes.
free to be them. It seems so simple, but it's not. It's one of the hardest things I think people
Yes.
are facing, is to really be truly them, because that's
Yes.
where the happiness comes from. If you can truly be you and be accepted by yourself, first of all, and then everybody else by just being you. So thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with me today. And we'll add the links for people how to reach you. But again, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Ingrid. This was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. If you are a healer with valuable insights to share, we'd love to hear from you. As together, we can inspire, heal, and raise one another. Till we meet again, sending you love, light, and gratitude.